if you have. Be honest, so you're not going to get any punishment. So just type in yes if you have solved exercise 5.1. Has anyone solved exercise 5.1? Okay, no. Some of them, but not all. No, but you are going to solve today. Okay, yes, you have solved. Done most of the questions. Okay. Okay, so I can see that most of the questions have been solved, but not all of them. I had solved a few questions in the class itself, so you should at least be able to solve those questions. It is important that you solve each and every question from your miscellaneous exercise and your textbook exercise. It won't take much amount of time. Anyone else? Okay, most of them. So, okay, I hope that at least few of you would have solved the entire exercise. Today we'll see the next topic. So tomorrow's homework is going to remain the same. You have to solve exercise 5.1. It's absolutely crucial that if you don't solve that exercise, you're not going to be able to solve the further questions which are going to be present. And I said earlier, like sets is the crucial part for your calculus. Sets is like alphabets of maths. If you know sets, you'll understand relations better. If you understand relations better, you'll get to know what functions are. If you know functions, you'll understand what limits is. If you know limits, all the three further chapters, limits, differentiation, integration, they are going to be linked. The chapters from your 12th standard are: first is differentiation, application of differentiation, second chapter. Third chapter is integration. You have indefinite integration and definite integration. After which you have applications of integration. Then you have differential equation, which is mixture of derivatives and integration. And after that you have binomial and probability distribution. So your entire part 2 includes derivatives and integration, or you can say calculus. And to understand that calculus, or to form a better base of that calculus, you need to understand what relations are, what sets is, what functions are. Sets are also going to be useful in your other chapters such as probability. Even some of the examples will come in matrices and determinants. So it's very, very basic, and it's like alphabets of English. As I said earlier, you are going to need sets in each and every chapter. So make a very, very strong base, so that when we are solving questions in suppose matrices, I don't have to explain what a power set is or how the two sets are equal, and hence we can compare. So it should come naturally that, okay, I know this part, this step is done. So I'll just say, okay, so in this step, it was explained in this way. I don't have to explain in detail, like we have added 2 sets and the union of sets is this, and it goes on further. So please solve exercise 5.1. It's very, very crucial to understand your further chapters. And in earlier syllabus, sets, relations, and functions was just one chapter in your maths. But as it is really important, in the new syllabus, they have split it into 2 different chapters. Sets and relations is one chapter, and functions is another chapter. So even the board is focusing more on sets, relations, and functions topic. Earlier, there was not much focus on sets, relations, functions. So the 11th, 12th board students used to face problem while they are solving JEE questions. Because in JEE, functions forms a very important part. When you're solving limits or when you're solving integration, you're going to need your knowledge from functions. So there won't be directly a question which is there on functions or relations, but if you don't understand these points, you are not going to be able to solve the further chapters of calculus. So having a very, very strong base of sets, relations, and functions is very crucial. So solve XSR point, and that's really easy. If you have any doubts, you don't understand any particular question, ask. Okay, I will solve. That's good. Perfect. We'll start with our relations. So what is a relation? Relation is nothing but product of two sets. We have seen some operations on sets, operations such as union and intersection, but we have not seen multiplication of two sets. So multiplication of two sets is nothing but a relation. So how can we explain this better? Let us see some common examples that we use in English or any other language. So relation is where two objects are related or two people are related. So you can say that A is a friend of B. So there is a relation between two people, that A and B are friends. Or I can say that this is a father of this person. So there is a relation between those two persons, that A person is father of B person. Or there can be a relation that A likes maths subjects. So there is a relation between math subject and that particular student, that the particular student likes math subject. So similarly, as these relations exist in other world, so in mathematical world, relations is relations between two integers, you can say, between two mathematical terms, or between two mathematical operations. For example, let us consider one example over here. I'll share my white screen. Okay, so here we go. Okay, so consider one equation, y is equal to 2x plus 1. If I substitute x is equal to 1, what would be value of y in this case? Value of y would be 2 into 1, 2 plus 1, that is 3. So when I say that x is 1, value of y becomes 3. Suppose I say that in this particular case, x is equal to 2. If I put x is equal to 2 in this equation, value of y is going to be 2 to the 4 plus 1, which is equal to 5. If I put x is equal to 3, value of y is going to be equal to 2 3 is 6 plus 1, 7. So if I write values of x in this form, where x is equal to, say, suppose 1, 2, and 3, I am going to get values of y. Values of y are 3, 5, and 7. So I can say that there is some relation between 1 and 3. There is some relation between 2 and 5. There is some relation between 3 and 7. Therefore, I can say that 1 is related to 3, 2 is related to 5, and 3 is related to 7. I can also say that if I write values of y in this side 3, 5, and 7, and values of x over here 1, 2, and 3, I can say that 3 is related to 1, 5 is related to 2, and 7 is related to 3. Consider that there is one set A which is having elements 1 and 2, and suppose there is another set B which is having elements 3 and 4. I have to find all the relations that can exist between these two sets. So relations is nothing but your Cartesian product. I can denote that as A cross B. What are the possible relations that I can get? I can get 1 and 3. I can get 1 and 4. I can get 2 and 3. Or else I can get 2 and 4. So these are the various relations that can exist. So if number of elements in A is equal to 2 and number of elements in B is equal to 2, what would be number of elements in A cross B? 1, 2, 3 and 4. So basic maths, if number of elements is A is 2, number of elements is also 2, their multiplication is going to give me 4 elements. So for example, consider if number of elements in A were 1 and 2 and in B I had 3 elements. So suppose A, B and C. So what would be number of relations that I can obtain? Number of relations would be 6 because A has 2 elements and B has 3 elements. So number of elements in A cross B is going to be equal to 1 and A, 1 and B, 1 and C. Then I'm going to have 2 and A, 2 and B, 2 and C. Okay. Let us see another example. Now I want you to tell me how many relations are possible over here. A has 4 elements, 1, 2, 3 and 4, and B has 2 elements, A and B. So how many relations are possible? 8. Okay, good, perfect. So number of relations is going to be equal to 4 into 2, which is equal to 8. Consider that there is a set A which is having 2 elements, A and B. And in this particular case, I don't want to find the relation of A with any other set. I want to find relation of A with itself. What does that mean? It means that I want to find A cross A. So what would be A cross A? What I have, A set A is nothing but A, B. So A cross A would be AB, or I can say AA, or I can say BA, or I can say it can be BB. So there are 4 options which are present over here. A cross A can have these 4 elements. I have AB over here and I have BA over here. Are these two same? Answer is no, these two are not same. Here the order is important, the order in which you are going to write. When we were writing normal sets, in sets the order is not important for the elements. But when we are going to write relations, relations are going to consist of your ordered pairs. Ordered pairs means there are 2 elements and here the order is important. So when I say A cross B, it is different from B cross A. So here the order is going to matter and I have to write both of them. I have to write A cross B and I have to also write B comma A. And what if I have to write A cross A cross A 3 times? That would be relation of A with itself 3 times. So that would be equal to, I know what my A cross A is. I have my A cross A over here and I have A over here. So I am finding relation between them. So that is going to be equal to AB and then A. It would be AB and then B. Then consider this with this. So that is going to be AA and A, AA and B. Then consider these two, which is going to be a BA and A, B, A and B. Then consider this. So that is going to be BB and A and 3 Bs. As here your order is important, AB and A is different from BA and B. Each of them represents a different value. Hence, If there are two elements in A cross A would have 4 elements, and A cross A cross A would have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 elements. Or I can say it would be 2 raised to n. If there are two elements in A cross A would have 2 raised to 2, that is 4 elements, and A cross A, or an ordered triplet, would have 2 raised to 3, that is 8 elements. So if I find A cross A cross A cross A 4 times, how many elements would it have? It would have 2 raised to 4, which is equal to 16 elements. As I said earlier, that in ordered pair, the relation is very important, or the order is very important. So if I say that two ordered pairs are equal, consider this example: x plus 2 comma 3 is equal to 4 comma y minus 1. Consider that these are two different ordered pairs which are equal. When I say that two ordered pairs are equal, it means their first terms are equal and their second terms are equal. So I can say that when two ordered pairs are equal, value of x plus 2 should be equal to 4 and value of 3 should be equal to y minus 1. Therefore, I can say x is equal to 4 minus 2, which is 2, and here I can say y is equal to 3 plus 1, which is equal to 4. Consider another example. Suppose x is given as x minus 1 and I have y plus 3. And I say that this ordered pair is also equal to 5 and 2. Therefore, I can say x is equal to, or x minus 1 is equal to 5. That gives me x is equal to 6. And my second ordered pairs would be equal. That is y plus 3 would be equal to 2. That gives me y is equal to 2 minus 3, which is equal to minus of 1. So if two ordered pairs are equal, you can compare their first terms and you can compare their second terms. What is a domain, codomain? What is a range? Consider there are two sets. There is one set A, which is equal to 1, 2, and 3, and there is another set, say suppose 4, 5, and 6. One is related to 2 and one is also related to 5. Say suppose 2 is related to 5 and 2 is also related to 6 and 3 is related to 6. There is this kind of relation which exists between these two sets. This part, which includes your elements 1, 2, and 3, is your domain. This part, which includes all of your terms, is known as codomain. The terms in codomain, which are mapped with your elements in domain. So over here, 4 has a partner which is 1, 5 has a partner which is 2, 5 also is having a partner which is 1, 6 has a partner which is 2 and 3. So in this particular example, all of the 3 terms were somewhat related to the 3 terms which are present in your domain. So the terms which are forming relations are going to be your range. There is also a term called as image and pre-image. So the terms which are present over here, 4, 5, and 6, are your image, which are mapped to the terms 1, 2, and 3, which are your pre-images. We'll see this a bit more in detail so that you'll understand it better. Consider there is one relation which is equal to y is equal to 2x. Consider that value of x is 1. What would be value of y? It would be 2. Consider x is equal to 2. What would be value of y? Value of y would be equal to 4. Therefore, I can say that there is a relation between 2 and 1. There is a relation between 4 and 2. Also, let us consider that there is another term over here, 3. So now this 3 term is not mapped, say suppose in our domain. The domain is only consisting of 2 parts or 2 elements, 2 and 4. The 3 element in a codomain is not related. So my domain is going to be 2 and 4, and my codomain is going to be equal to 1, 2 and 3. However, my range in this particular case is going to be 1 and 2 because only 1 and 2 are mapped. So my range is equal to 1 and 2. My range won't include the term 3. Also, my images are 1 and 2 and my preimages are 2 and 4. We'll see this a bit more in details as we are going to go on further. Suppose A has 2 elements A and B, and B has 2 elements, say suppose 1 and 2. There is a relation between A and B. So relation between A and B is denoted in this way, A cross B. The different relations that can exist are A can be related to 1, A can be related to 2, B can be related to 1, and B can be related to 2. The first terms are your domain. So my domain would be A and B. My second terms, which are present over here, 1 and 2, 1 and 2, these are my range. So 1 and 2 is my range. A and B is my domain, and 1 and 2 is also my codomain. So in this particular example, I can say that there is a relation between A 1 and 2, B is also related to 1 and 2. And in this particular case, my codomain and range are same. My range has 2 elements 1 and 2. My codomain also has 2 elements which are 1 and 2. But that might not be the case always. Sometimes your domain, your codomain and range might not be the same. Let us consider one example. A is given as, say suppose 1, 2, 3 and 4, and B is given as another set which is equal to 3, 4 and 5. In this particular case, I don't want to find all the elements of A cross B. I'm going to define a particular relation between A and B. And that relation is that all the elements of A should be less than that of elements of B. So if I say that elements of A are X and elements of B are Y, then I want them to satisfy one particular condition, which is X is less than Y. So over here, I will write elements of A, which is equal to 1, 2, 3 and 4. Over here, I'm going to write elements of B. Elements of B are 3, 4 and 5. However, there is a relation condition this time. And the condition is that X should be less than Y, or the elements of A should be less than elements of B. So who satisfies these conditions? So 1 is less than 3. Yes, so I can say 1 and 3 are related. 1 is less than 4. Yes, this condition is satisfied. 1 is less than 5. Yes, this also satisfies the condition. So the relation over here is going to be 1 and 3, 2 and 4, and 1 and 5, 1 and 4. Is 2 less than 3? Yes, so 2 also satisfies this, 2 is also satisfying this, and 2 is also satisfying this. So I can say that 2, 3, 2, 4 and 2, 5 are also part of this relation. Is 3 less than 3? No, so I cannot draw arrow from 3 to 3. Is 3 less than 4? Yes. Is 3 less than 5? Yes. So my next relation is 3 4 and 3 5. I have not drawn arrow from 3 to 3 because 3 is not less than 3, and the condition that I was discussing here is A should be less than B. Is 4 less than 3? No. Is 4 less than 4? No. Is 4 less than 5? Yes. So in this particular case, I can say that my A cross B is equal to these elements 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 and 9 elements. So you can define a particular relation, and that relation will be smaller than the total number of multiplications. Suppose I draw or I consider another relation over here, which is that x should be, or the elements in A should be factors of B. So we'll write all the elements which are present in A, which are 1, 2, 3, and 4. We'll write all the elements which are present in B, which are 3, 4, and 5. The condition this time, I am saying the condition is that A should be a factor of B. So 1 is obviously going to be factors of everyone. So 1 is going to be related to 3, 4, and 5. However, 2 is a factor of 4. 3 would be only a factor of 3, and 4 would be only a factor of 4. So the relation this time would be 1 is related to 3, 1 is related to 4, 1 is also related to 5. However, 2 is only related to 4, 3 is only related to 3, and 4 is only related to 4. I'll give you 2 minutes. Just look at this diagram, try to understand it. I know that it is not clear yet. And as we are going to see more and more examples, more and more parts of this domain, codomain, and range would become more clear. So try to understand what I've said over here. If you have any doubts, you can ask me now. Okay, example 1 and 2 completely not understood. I know that it's going to be a bit difficult to understand all the terms that I'm going to speak, because all the terms are relatively new. Domain, codomain, range, there is image, there is pre-image, there is relation, there is Cartesian product, what an ordered pair is. So what I'm trying to do now is just trying to introduce those terms to you. As we go on further, as we see more and more examples, these terms will become more and more clear. You didn't get the range? Okay. Anyone else any doubt? Explain codomain again. Okay. Consider one set A. I'll take similar example 1 and 2, and consider that there is another set which is equal to, say, suppose 3, 4, and 5. These are represented by a relation of xy. So suppose that the relation is xy such that means your two dots, x belongs to set A and y belongs to set B. And the condition that I'm going to say is that x is equal to 2 times of y, or say we can reverse this, y is equal to 2 times of x. So consider this new example. Number of elements in A is 1 and 2. Number of elements in B is 3, 4, and 5, which is 3. First of all, tell me how many possible relations we can form. So as A has 2 and B has 3, number of total possible relations can be 6. But for this particular question, I've introduced a new condition for relation. And the condition for relation is that y should be equal to 2 times of x. So what does that mean and how should we solve it? First, I will write elements of my set A, and here I will write elements of my set B. Elements in set A are 1 and 2. Elements in set B are 3, 4, and 5. So domain and codomain is very easy. All the first terms are your domain. All the second terms are going to be your codomain. So domain is 1, 2, and your codomain is 3, 4, and 5. Now the relation condition over here is y is equal to 2 times of x. So I have to find relation such that if x is equal to 2 over here, y should be equal to 4, that is 2 times. So only one particular condition is satisfying this. If x is equal to 1, y should be equal to 2, but I don't have any 2 in my B part. So only one particular set solves this, that 2 and 4. So the relations solving y is equal to 2s equation are 2 and 4, only these two elements. So the range is going to be equal to 4. So range is nothing but how many elements of codomain are mapped. So in this case, only one element is mapped. So for your range, you have only one element which is equal to 4. Your codomain means all of the terms which are present over here. So all of the terms are 3, 4, and 5. So your codomain is 3, 4, and 5. Your domain is all of the elements which are present here, 1 and 2. Your image means all of the terms which are mapped, means 4, and your pre-image means all of the terms that are mapped in domain, which is equal to 2. We'll see a few more examples from the textbook so it gets a bit more clear. Consider this example, that if x solved examples, question number 1. If x plus 1 comma y minus 2 is equal to 3 comma 1, find the value of x and y. So it is given that these are ordered pairs and these are equal. Therefore, I can say that x plus 1 is equal to 3, and therefore x is equal to minus 2. Sorry, x is equal to 2 and y is equal to 3. Consider second example. A is given to you 1, 2. You have to find A cross A. A cross A is nothing but relation of A with itself. So A has 2 elements. A cross A would have 4 elements. So again, it's really simple. Consider A is 1, 3, 5, B is 2, 3. So let's solve this question. A is given as 1, 3, and 5, and B is given as 2 and 3. You have to find A cross B, and you have to also find B cross A. A cross B means relation of A with B. B cross A means relation of B with A. Remember that number of elements in A cross B and number of elements in B cross A will be same. But A cross B is not equal to B cross A, because order is also going to be important. So what does that mean? When I say A cross B, I'm going to consider this. 1 is related to 3, 1 is related to 2. What other relations can I form? I can say that 3 is related to 2 and 3 is also related to 3. I can also say that 5 is related to 2 and 5 is related to 3. What is B cross A? B cross A is converse. So 2 would be related to 1. So 2 and 1, 2 and 3, 2 and 5. Then I have 3 and 1, 3 and 3, 3 and 5. What is number of ordered pairs in A cross B? Number of ordered pairs is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That is 3 into 2, which is equal to 6. What is number of ordered pairs in B cross A? That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Or I can say 2 into 3, 6. So number of ordered pairs in A cross B and B cross A is going to be the same. However, A cross B and B cross A values or the actual ordered pairs are not same. So I have 1, 2 over here, I have 2, 1 over here. 1, 2 is different from 2, 1. 1, 3 over here, I have 3, 1 over here. So 1, 3 and 3, 1 are different. Here the order is important. So you cannot say that 1, 2 and 2, 1 are same. So how many A cross B? There is 6. How many B cross A? There is 6. So the question or example number 3 is, if A is 1, 3, 5, B is equal to 3, you have to find A cross B and B cross A, and you have to show that A cross B and B cross A are not equal. So hence they are not equal. Consider example number 7. In example number 7, A is given to you which is equal to 1, 2, 3, and B is given to you which is equal to 2, 4, and 6. You have to show that a relation which is consisting of ordered pairs, 1 is related to 1 is related to 4, 3 is related to 2, and 3 is related with 4, is a relation from A to B. You have to find domain, codomain, and range. So domain is nothing but your first parts. So if you consider the relation has 4 elements or 4 ordered pairs, 1, 2, 1, 4, 3, 2, and 3, 4. So the relation which is given over here has 1, 2, 1, 4, 3, 2, and 3, 4. So domain is your first parts. Hence I can say over here, the domain is going to be equal to the first components which is equal to 1 and 3. So the first parts are 1 and 3. So I can say this is my domain. The range is, or the codomain should be equal to your second parts. And the range is what are the terms that are mapped. So to better understand this, I will draw the diagrams over here. In the diagrams we had your set A is 1, 2, 3 and set B is 2, 4, 6. 1, 2, 3 and 2, 4 and 6. So relations are given to you, which is 1 is related to and 1 is related to 4. Then I had 3 is related to 2 and 3 is related to 4. So my domain is going to be the terms over here which are mapped, which is equal to 1 and 3. My codomain is going to be all the terms which are present over here. So my codomain would be 2, 4, and 6. And my range is the terms which are mapped. So I have 2 is mapped over here, 4 is mapped. 6 does not have any partner over here. So I'm not going to include 6 in my range. So my range would be 2 and 4. So I can say that range is always going to be a subset of codomain. Range and codomain can be same, or range can be smaller than my codomain. Codomain is always going to be greater than or equal to than that of my range portion. What are images? Images are these 2 and 4, which are mapped somewhere in my domain part. So they are mapped to 1 and 3. So 1 and 3 are also known as my pre-images. So if I have to find domain in my particular relation, domain is going to be my first part of elements 1 and 3. If I have to find range, it's going to be my second portions. So that is equal to 2 and 4. So let's consider this. So my codomain is 2, 4, and 6, and my range of second components is 2 and 4. I hope you understood this example number 7. If you have any doubts in example number 7, then ask me. Okay, 6 means you want to explain the 6th example, or what is the question exactly? Has everyone understood what the 7th example is? If yes, type yes. If no, then type no. I can explain again. Okay, yes. Come. It's going to take a bit more amount of time. Yes, 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 yes. Okay. So there's yes from Pranika, Parth, Veer, Ayushi, Atharva, and more. If you have not got example number 7, then just type in a no so that I can understand. We are going to see many examples, and we are going to go into more and more details. So as we move further on into details, you'll get a more clear understanding, clear difference between what domain, codomain, and range is. To simply put in simple words, domain is your first part of your ordered pairs. Range is your second part of your ordered pairs. Codomain means your entire B set. So your range is always going to be a subset of your codomain. We'll stop over here. Tomorrow we'll start with your exercise 5.2. We'll see a few examples of exercise 5.2. I want everyone to solve your exercise 5.1. If you have any doubts in 5.1 exercise, we can discuss those. Also, tomorrow we'll see various types of relations, which are your equivalence relations, symmetric relations, identity relations, empty relations. Okay, so we'll end the lecture over here. Thank you, everyone. I hope that this was pretty clear. For some of you, it was a bit of bouncer. I understand that, because a relative new terms are added into this lecture, terms which you are not aware of earlier, such as domain, codomain, range, image, pre-image. What is Cartesian product? What is ordered pair, ordered triplets, equality? So my main role in this particular, or my main aim in this particular lecture, was just to introduce those terms to you, get you guys familiar with those terms. And once you are familiar with those terms, we'll get a more detailed understanding in next lectures. So thank you, everyone.